Hello everybody! Welcome to the video in which I'll show you our latest piece of software that we just recently released. It's the 3D Previewer Pro, and that's basically a new version of our legacy 3D Previewer that most of you already use. Over the years, we have been receiving a lot of feature requests on what to add to the 3D Previewer, and we listened and spent last couple of months developing the new version, which is available on our Patreon page. Let me show you how you can download this and then show you how to use it. This is our Patreon page, and now I should say thank you to all the Patreons who have supported us over the years and made this possible. All this development, well, comes at a cost, and I'm very grateful that you guys are with us all this time and supporting us. Anyways, this on the screen is our Patreon page, and I'm going to show you where you can download the new 3D Previewer Pro. Click up here on Collections, then on Direct Downloads, and in this list, find the 3D Previewer Pro. Here we go. On the bottom of this post, there is a link here under the attachments section where you can click on this and download the 3D Previewer Pro. Before you start using the 3D Previewer Pro, you're going to have to prepare something that we call BasePath. BasePath is basically an empty folder on your hard drive into which you extract the SCS game files. Question 1. Where do you find these files? Question 2. How do you extract these files? Let me show you. The easiest way to find the installed files for any game is to go into your Steam library, right-click on the game, click Properties, Installed Files, and then the Browse button. This opens the game installation path in your Windows Explorer. This is the whole path that we actually need, and we can just copy it. Now, the second step is extraction, and to do that, we're going to use Mod Studio. Okay, to extract your game files, of course, we're going to use the SCS extractor that's bundled with Mod Studio, but let me give you a pro tip. The path that we just found using our Steam library, we can actually save that into our Mod Studio options. We go into the mod project for ATS, and then here in game install path, you can save your game installation path. If you save this, next time you open the SCS extractor, you're going to have this button ATS enabled, and if you click it, it's always going to go directly to your American Truck Sim installation folder. So this is a little pro tip. Now, in here, we gonna select files that we need. We need the base SCS, base share, base vehicle, and def. This is the bare minimum. But also, for all the trucks that you want to extract, you will have to add the additional files, such as Freightliner Cascadia, or the Mack Pinnacle, or Anthem, or the Kenworths, or whatever truck you want to open in the 3D Previewer. Select everything you need, click Open, and here in this list, in the extractor, you're going to see them. I would recommend selecting an empty folder to extract into, but you can also use one that you previously used for these extracts, here like mine. We select this, so for instance I select now SCS extracts ATS. Of course you have to keep your ATS and ETS2 separate, but here's my ATS extracts folder, and I would select this empty output folder before extracting, so all my old extracted files get deleted, so I know all the files that I have there are the same version and all are up to date. And also mind that you do not select this extract each archive to a separate folder. We do not want that. We want all the extracted files to be in one single folder. Okay, click the extract, and this might take a couple of minutes. Okay. Once you launch the Mod Studio 2 Scheme Previewer Pro, this is what you'll see. This is the basic user interface. And on the left-hand side, we have the list of models that are loaded. Then we have the 3D view, the image view, and the layers. Obviously, in the top toolbar, you can change the base view of it, so you can have the 3D view only, the image view only, or the classic split view. Now, using this is quite simple. All the stuff that you can't do is disabled, and the buttons usually that you can use are also here, like in order which you want to use them in. So first you want to load your base path. Here this little drop down shows you which base paths are loaded, and there's a handy list of recently used base paths. So for instance, I'm going to remove this one just to show you. And here's the list of the paths that I previously used, and this one called the Previewer Pro Test is where I extracted all my ETS2 files. Let's start with that one. I click this little plus, and in the background, the Previewer Pro is going to go and analyze that folder path and check for all the vehicles in it. So when you click the Load Model button, like so, you're going to see there's a lot of trucks already in this list, and the list is getting populated as we speak. Here you can see the little scroll bar getting smaller. On top of this list, we have a handy pinned vehicles category, because you can see you probably want to work on one vehicle and then come back to it. So that's why we added these little pins, pin and unpin buttons, but we also have a list of additional information for each vehicle that you can find in this list, so you can easily detect or find which vehicle is which. All these vehicles in these lists are the ones that you would find in-game in your dealers, truck dealers list. So we have a lot of vehicles here, but we can actually start and load one of the newer ones. So here's a FH5, which was recently added to ETS2. You just click that one Load Vehicle button, and that's it. Of course, it takes a little bit, because this has to go through a bunch of files. There's a lot of model files here. Let me now show you, if we click onto the 3D view, you can see the whole truck basically loaded. And of course, there's keyboard shortcuts that you can use, like the WSAD keys to move the camera, which is very handy. To find all these keyboard shortcuts and commands, you can click the Quick Help button. Here you go, and there's a couple of tabs where we actually list all of the controls available. Handy R key to reset the camera. So now on the left hand side you can see that there's a lot of parts listed, and they are actually in a hierarchy as they come in game. So you can hide selected parts, or actually groups of parts if you would like, for instance the cab, or well, anything else. It's good to know that the capitalized things are actual parts and the lowercase ones are models, at least for now. You will, in the bottom right hand side of the screen, you will notice that this is a version that's called 0.8, and that basically means it's not finished. We will continue to improve this app and have quite regular updates. The next button in the toolbar is Unload Model. You can unload selected parts, selected groups of parts, for instance this, or the whole vehicle. This is quite handy. but for further demonstration, we need to load some vehicles back in. And when we do that, I can show you two new features that we have. For instance, first one, let's load this Volvo FH4. And this is going to be one of more basic models. Again, takes a couple of seconds to load all these parts. But as you can see, this is one of the more basic variants of the vehicle that doesn't have side skirts. And this was one of the most requested features for the old 3D previewer, because people wanted to obviously align their graphics on their cabs and their side skirts and everything else. So if we basically just load a basic model of the side skirt, this should work, right? In the old previewer, the models were just, well, stacked randomly or one on top of the other, and let's see what happens. We can go load model, and this time we're going to use the from file option. As you can see, I previously loaded this in my recently used models. I've previously loaded a Volvo FH16 2012 accessory side skirt X6 PMD, which probably stands for Prism Model Definition, maybe. And just click on this little load button. There we go. The side skirt is loaded, but it's loaded exactly in the same way as the old previewer loaded it. Well, and this kind of makes sense because these two, like the truck model and the side skirt model, have no idea that they are related. And that's also visible if you take a look on the left hand side in the list. You will see that the X6, the side skirt model, really doesn't know that it should belong to this Volvo truck. What can we do? Now, in this new 3D previewer, you can just drag this X6 side skirt model into the correct location. So, just following some basic logic, you would drag this and I would drag it onto the chassis, because it's probably attached to the chassis, right? Let's do this. Just drag and drop this onto our chassis. This is the chassis 6x2 underline 4. And when you do that, this is the dialog that you get. Basically now the side skirt model is asking you, hey, where should I be attached to? And 3D model files have dummy locators, as we call them. Basically these are predefined attachment points, and here's a list of all the attachment points available on the chassis. And if you scroll a bit, you will find this one called side skirt. That makes perfect sense. If we select the side skirt attachment point on the chassis, click OK, and there you go. Our side skirt model file is now perfectly attached. And as you can see, now it's also on the left hand side, it's under the chassis. It's a child of the chassis, as it should be. So this is how you load or add additional models into the scene. Basically, you could drag any part to any location. You might get some funky results, but I guess this part works nice. But that's not all. One of the big features now is that we can actually load trailers. Oh, I know, we had the option of loading trailers in the old one, but there wasn't much to do with them. Let me show you. Load model, and then let's go into our trailers tab and let's load a fuel tank. This is okay. Ooh, but the whole thing is kind of like, no, this isn't really good. We cannot really do skin alignment like this. Fear not. There is a Connect Models button up top in the toolbar, and just clicking on the top of the button will try to automatically attach the trailer and the chassis of the truck. Actually, it tries to align the hook point on the chassis to the hook point of the trailer, and this is what you get. Neat. Look at this. Now you can actually align your skins and graphics all the way from your truck cab to your trailer. Let's reset the camera. There. This is pretty cool. This also works if you have like a trailer that has multiple attachment points, or if you have a multiple chassis loaded in a truck model, which old truck models had multiple chassis. Basically not like whole model files, but as parts inside of the truck. And in that case, maybe the automatic connection won't really work, but then there's the option of connecting it here with the drop down, where you select the truck that you want to hook up to, its hook point, where it could be multiples, but you're gonna select what you want. Same goes for the trailers. You select the trailer, its hook, and press the button, and that's it. Pretty cool. Okay, let's move to the ATS side of things, and I'm going to show you a couple of more features. Okay, to switch to the ATS side of things, let's add a base path. Here we go. And you can actually keep multiple base paths here. That's completely fine, and actually even handy when you work with mods, where you could use your game's base path and then add a path to the mod folder, or where you extracted your mod. In that case, you might be actually able to load most mods if they are basically built kind of in line with SCS files. But honestly, even SCS isn't really following SCS guidelines in a lot of cases. Okay, let me show you. Let's load a Cascadia. As you can see, this is now a mix of ATS files. As you can see, here's a group called ATS test, but here's the old one, Preview Pro test, that contains my ETS2 trucks. This is all grouped nicely by game, so you can actually find and organize these things quite easy. Of course, there's a handy search function up on top of this little dialog, so that makes finding your desired truck even easier. Okay, let's load the Cascadia now. Oh, and as you can see, not everything gets loaded correctly out of the box. We have these mirrors a little bit misaligned, but this happens. This is first of all not a final release of the previewer, so we might have read this file a little bit off, but this is easily fixable, as we can actually just hide these mirrors, or even better, just drag them. As you can see, they're attached into our chassis. I don't know why, but we can actually just drag them and attach them to the cab, and cab probably has, there you go, attachment point called mirror. There you go, perfect. Now, the actual feature that I actually wanted to show you is the one quite handy little one, and I actually will put this into split view. I'll select the cab, and now on the right hand side you can see in the image view, this is the basically image that's on the cab. And to make life easier, we have this little button called Add UV Layer, which does what our UV layer extractor, which comes bundled with Mod Studio. This is the same functionality. You can basically just select line color, background color, line thickness, and you can add this image to the part that you selected. Or you can just click on the top half of the button and it's going to be done with default settings. Oops. Like this. Okay, give it a couple of seconds and you're going to get offered all the UV layers that were found on that part. And one is probably the alternate UV set, and one is the probably just the normal one. Let's just select one, click OK, and now you can see that this layer got added to your image, and it's also in the layers list, where you can then hide it when you don't need it anymore. Or you can export this, so whatever's in the image view, you can export by clicking the export image. And then this will get saved as a PNG file. Okay, now you can see actually on the 3D view that we have the UV layer applied to our cab. Pretty cool. But the most important bit is adding files to your truck. The easiest way to add any graphics to your image is to use either one of these buttons on the bottom right hand side, just below or just at the bottom of the layers list. And there's actually additional buttons here that you can use. So first one is add layer, second one is duplicate layer, and then you have remove layer, and then also move layer up or down, so that basically controls which layer goes above which. Okay, so you can actually click add layer. This opens a classic dialog where you can select your image file, but I actually prefer drag and drop. And just to demonstrate, you can just simply drag any image or any supported image from Windows into this image box. So let's just take a Mod Studio logo, and we can maybe do this texture, and let's add a American truck one. Okay, this is gonna be enough. Well, on the right hand side is the layers list, and as you can imagine, to edit a layer, you first select it by selecting it in the list. The list offers show and hide commands, and as I said here on the bottom, you can change the order of these layers, so you can just move stuff up or down. And when you select a layer, you can see that the red outline shows up together with the grab handles, where you can actually change the size of it. If the layer is selected, you can also drag it, so you just move it around. And as you can see, when we move this here on the image, it automatically does the same in the 3D view. Let's try to make something pretty. Let's make this one a little bit smaller. So here's a pro tip. If you hold down Shift while resizing, the image will keep its aspect ratio. So here, and if we resize a little more, I think we got almost got our whole cab roof painted. I think there's here on the back end, we should actually have, we should probably just extend it. There we go. This is going to cover the back of the cab. There we go. Roof painted. Now we can actually take this logo make it a little smaller and align it. Okay, this is upside down. So here's a pro tip. Let's do this in the image view. The mouse wheel is the scroll, the zoom, and if you hold down Ctrl and drag with your mouse, that basically pans the whole image. So if you zoom, you might want to pan left and right to get your art in the center of your screen. But if you hold down Ctrl and Alt, as you can see, the mouse cursor changed. This means Ctrl Alt and drag is the rotate. So we can basically rotate this image. Or I don't have enough space on my desk. Okay, I think this worked. There we go. This is gonna be now right way up. Let's make it a little smaller, and let's actually make it a little bit like this, so it fits on the cab nicer. There we go. And in the 3D view, there you go. Pretty good. Now time for Mod Studio logo. Let's just select the correct one, Shift to do resize everything, both width and height, and Control Alt and little tilt. Let's put it like this. How does this look? Let's move it a little to the front, and you would probably want to then hide your UV layers, and this is how you would probably work when you were actually making a skin. Obviously this works much better when you do when you want to align different parts of the vehicle. So for instance, let's try to find the so this is the cab, but let's try to find the hood. Yeah, the stock hood, and we would then just drag and drop some images onto it. Let me just find it. Here we have test images, and then you could, well, just use this one for instance. There you go, now on the hood. And if you had this on the cab, on the sides, you could easily align this for everything to match perfectly. And I think this is like the most of the features of this 3D previewer. Obviously, when you're done with everything, you would then select the part that you want or that you're happy with, and you would obviously click export image, save it as a PNG somewhere, and then you would go into Mod Studio, you would create a skin for this truck. In the future versions, that will be all automatic, and we will add a button that will export this as a project for Mod Studio. That's going to be one of the quality of life features coming up, probably in version 1. But we're going to actually try to do regular updates, so at least one per month. So stay tuned, and hopefully you're going to get more updates soon. And before I wrap this video up, I'm going to show you the last little controls that we have here, and this is the canvas size. This basically controls the size of the image, and let me just show you. You can just do it on the fly. There you go. Now your image is 4 times the size as it was. This is actually helpful when you do trailers. Some of them are probably wider, so you would want to adjust that because default sizes of skins for trailers are usually 2:1. And ratio. Okay. I think I've covered most of the features of the new 3D previewer. More features will be added, like I said. Once again, this is all possible thanks to our patrons, and this is also why this is a pro-only app, only available for our patrons. So go to our Patreon if you would like to download this app. We appreciate everybody's support. We also have a very nice Discord community where you can always come and ask about, well, if you get any problems. And that's pretty much that. Thank you all for watching. Click like and subscribe for new updates. Share this video if you want with your friends, especially with the ATS and ETS2 communities. Make sure you visit our Discord. Check the links down below. I think, yep, it's down. And see you in the next one.